Hey, everybody. Hey, will we all lean in the community-wide 3-day challenge? Without a doubt. We can lean hard into the 8 ball today. Hey, you guys. Hey, welcome. I see there were a lot of questions about the starting time. And one of the reasons is I kind of misfired on the starting time in an email to the boot campers. I am sorry about that. But in YouTube, it always gives like a little countdown. And so regardless of your time zone, it'll tell you like how soon. And then hopefully I'm actually here with my 8 ball. And I had a little misfire right there in that first couple of seconds. But good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are leaning in. I want to say a little bit generally about what I mean by leaning in. And so leaning in is, you know, how it is with so many big things in life, how of course, with weight loss, like fear of failure, like we've done it so many times and oh my God, and we're doing it again. And is it really going to be different? All of that, that like the outcome is uncertain. I mean, obviously, if we all knew, like, it is a guarantee that we're going to be like 120 or 150 pounds or whatever, like our ideal weight is, and that we're going to just be out living vibrantly. I don't think weight loss would be as hard as it is, but it's those uncertain outcomes that may like play with us up here. Okay, so how do we counter that? And that is what today's message is about. So so many people post in the, like, especially in the main community, that they're struggling with getting started because of that fear of failure, trying to really dig in. And a big reason for the massive success that you see at Eat Like a Bear is actually because this lean in message that's kind of like baked into a few key pieces of content. And so I want to direct you to those. First of all, there is the video on Facebook, A Postcard from Yellowstone. And I think I just saved it to the description of this very video, but you can go to Facebook and search A Postcard from Yellowstone. And that was an early bear video that was published in September of 2018. And it is me sort of, I'm going to get emotional if I say too much about it. I want you to go watch it. It is a very strong message of, yes, you can do it, of recognizing, yes, we have tried all these things all these years, and what that does to us up here. So with repeated diet failures, and at this point, I have so many commentaries on why sort of society is kind of structured in a way to actually perpetuate those failures, but the amazing empowerment you can get if you essentially just give it a shot. And I'm just looking at comments real quick. Okay, so I see y'all saying hello. So at least I have audio and stuff. Good. If we hit it, if we start seeing that success, the momentum we can get from it is so powerful, I can't even tell you. And it is so easy to spend so much of our time like second guessing the process. What would happen if you just like did a giant blind dive? Just blind, just like what might happen? Well, your life may change. That's what might happen. And it was a similar thing with the 3-day challenge. So we're now in our community-wide 3-day challenge, which is kind of a new thing. It's new in 2022 at Eat Like a Bear. But the classic 3-day challenge is just a very simple email sequence that I launched in January of 2020. It was actually right before the pandemic. And it has driven so much success. And a reason is that my whole philosophy in implementing it was, let me give people the tools. Like, you don't have to have like my book or like whatever. I didn't even have a print book at the time. We had a digital book. But what if we didn't worry about all that, right? What if everyone just walked into the grocery store and shopped and then did it immediately? What success might we see? Well, the success was tremendous, really tremendous. And recognizing that need for all of us, we all need to see what might be, right? And that 3 days gives us that little window. Like any of us could probably do just about anything for 3 days, truly. It gives us that evidence. So the whole spirit of the 3-day challenge is dive in. Like, yeah, I know you're gonna, think it's just like stupid like every other thing that you've tried. I am so the president of that club. Absolutely. Like, I don't even get offended when people think that. I just laugh. I'm like, they're just being real because I get it. I totally, totally get it. But also like the fear of failure. And that comes from, each of our own like self-confidence and self-esteem. And absolutely, we are fearful of new things. But what if we just got past that fear, the fear of the jump, and jumped? What evidence might we collect in those 3 days? And so that it's like, don't overlook this key point. That is what has really driven so much of the success with people who've done the 3-day challenge. And let me also point out that the 3-day challenge, it's not just like we have people post all the time. Oh, here it is. It's a 1-page PDF that they're posting. You guys do know. I mean, because go to the den, eatlikeabearden.com. There is a shopping list that takes up 1 page, but it's actually, there's so much material associated with that, and videos that you can watch on each day that really teach you the meal and like the key aspects of the meal that are going to drive success. And so I get concerned if, in terms of like, I'm saying leap, but leap with all the materials that are there, and collect as much knowledge as you can about the process so that you can really implement it in the way that you need to implement it, because that's the key. And you are collecting this evidence, 3 days of evidence. See what kind of fuel that provides you. And I'm astounded when I see it, like in the community wide, but I also recognize as I look back on my own case, how powerful that was for me. And I had a very strong start. I sort of blindly just dove in. I didn't have even a big plan about what I was doing, but I decided that like every day I would try to improve, the next day based on the previous. Okay. And so the origin story, it's in boot camp. Okay. Let me say real quick about we have so much going on in the community right now. And so to clarify, we have our 3-day challenge right now. And today is day two. And this is the 3-day challenge is the what to eat aspect of Eat Like a Bear. But with this community-wide 3-day challenge, we are also launching a 6-week goal. Okay. Everyone needs to choose, to set their goal and work like heck for it, like grind it into the ground in these next 6 weeks. There is a video right here on this channel from yesterday that is about setting that 6-week goal that walks you through the the elements of a good goal setting strategy, which is like it needs to be measurable and specific and have a deadline, those kinds of things. But it's a whole long form video. You may hear more about it from me than you care to. Okay. But it's here on this channel. And so everyone's doing a 6-week goal. But right with that, and the reason we're all so busy is at the same time, at the beginning of all this, we're launching a 12-week boot camp. And boot campers also having a 6-week goal. Everybody, all of us, everybody, that's you. Okay. Everybody in the entire universe that has an internet connection to, here on Earth of some kind. 6-week goal, everybody. And so in boot camp, there's just like, a lot of support, and there's support all over the place, by the way. And I want you to lean in to all of the support that is everywhere, including on this channel, including in the Facebook group, including, Facebook Reels, everything out there. But in boot camp, we go really pretty flippin' deep on key things that basically it's formatted around my own experience, particularly in the last year, as I have led our psychology community and as I managed to get through an extremely challenging year here in my life. And I didn't gain weight. Oh my God. Okay. I mean, it's a real I feel like it's a miracle, except it's not at all. It was not like magic or accident. And so all of that is baked into the boot camp. And there, like week 1 here, we have, I know there's a lot of material right here on this YouTube channel about goal setting, and everyone needs to like dig in and gobble it up. There's more in boot camp. So anyway, we will not lack like focus and activities in boot camp for sure. A lot of stuff designed to try to get us to see, to like break down some of the barriers that are keeping us from reaching our weight loss goals in particular. Because I mean, we all know it to be true that all of us have some kind of barrier in our life that might keep us from being able to lean in to the degree to which we otherwise might. And those are a very big topic of discussion in the boot camp. So the boot camp is a member funded community. So, you know, it costs you money to join, because it costs me actually a lot of resources to run it. And so, but my big goal with it is that we can just like learn so much about weight loss and improve like everything that we do here at Eat Like a Bear as a result, and improve like our success rate. That's my goal for it. So jump in. There's a link here to it as well, and you're welcome to ask me any questions about it. But let me talk about, so the lean in, I'm going to give you guys another example. And but let me just take a little moment for questions. Let's see. And so Lola, yeah, you know what? Hit up Sander, support at eatlikeabear.com. And but you know what? There is so much support on the, like there's a whole video library in there that you'll have access to on the what to eat question. And let's see. Oh, there's a lot. Plus, there's all like a bunch of experts in there, you know, us, where we spend a good part of our time at the den these days. Because I don't know if you realize it, you guys, but we're growing in all the socials. And so we started as a community inside a private Facebook group. And so lots of you guys are in there, and it's big. It's a structure we have, there's a lot of back end problems that we face all the time, and we have no control over them. And it's private group. So we can't, like, if someone finds us on TikTok and we want to link to a resource and they're not a member, they can't see it. And so this is why we have this public area at the den, so we can always link to, especially like the frequently asked questions. And that's why, you know, that's what all that is about. Okay. Let's see. And just scrolling quickly throughout the lives, if you can always, like, I invite you to copy and paste your question, post it again. If I keep scrolling to the bottom, I'm more likely to see your question. So yeah, okay. And Jackie talks about boot camp. So Jackie, who's been with us the whole time, says, I'm finding boot camp all a bit overwhelming. There's so much. Yeah, you will not lack from materials in boot camp. And so what I'm going to be doing is sending an email out every day for a little while. I think what I'm going to then do is ask you if you want a daily email, but it will be, and it will link you to like one thing. And so we can kind of keep a rhythm and flow as a community. And then you don't have to like go through all of it like at once, because that is totally overwhelming, completely. Let's see. Judy, I'm fearful of success. This is interesting, Judy, because that means I have to continue to be successful. I think that's a really good point, Judy. Like, so, because it's that fear of gaining the weight back, which, you know, research says 95% of us will do. And I feel like any reasonable researcher would actually say that, I mean, my chance is like approaching 100% because I have gained the weight back multiple times in my life. So I'm clearly not part of that like special 5%, right? And so I think that's most of us here, where we have shown we're not part of the 5%, which increases our fear of failure. Judy, my number one strategy for maintenance, absolutely number one. And I have leaned so hard into this year, and anybody can do this. You don't need boot camp to do this. So the big goal, this is partly why I'm so bananas about the big goal. Mine was, and I say, like, your big goal is not like the pant size, it's not the number on the scale. It is what you will be doing at the very end, the finish line, like outliving your vibrant life. And for me, it was hiking. And not to be like trite and ridiculous, but this past year, I have leaned so hard into that big goal. I have purposefully, like on bad days, I've gone out onto my property or areas, outside in nature and really actively reflected and have been grateful for where I am. Okay. It is always a struggle of like what I call competing with the donut. Always, always, always a struggle. And so, how do you over time compete with the donut? Because, Judy, if you can get to a life changing weight where you are out living vibrantly, you can compete with the donut. It's just easy to forget sometimes when you're having a very dark day. And then that leads you down a path that the researchers would predict. So how are we going to go down a path that the researchers would not predict? And then that's really what the whole structure of boot camp is about. But yeah, you can absolutely just go back to what you were doing and end up back where you were. I mean, that is what we do. I mean, that is the 95%, right? That is the pattern. And so how do we do it differently? Okay, how do we do it differently? And so boot campers, it's tomorrow that I have a really great video for you that highlights that thing. And it's about this, like, our own reaction to events is what really shapes our outcome. And there is a story involving a woman in a bikini that you will not want to miss. It's truly legendary. Okay. And so, Lola, will we have access to all these resources after boot camp? So you're going to have access to them, but we'll probably have the space there for 6 months. And so, but the thing is, the key with boot camp is not to just let the resources sit there. It's to dig in, Lola, because what we're going to be doing with this. So we're launching there, like as Jackie says, there's a lot of information. We're getting through goal setting, we're getting through like some of the ways of thinking and like pushing into the 6-week goal with that. But we will be revisiting a number of key things at like week 7 and 8, and we will be forming little masterminds because issues with leaning in. We all have issues. I mean, bless all of our hearts. Okay. So issues with leaning in tend to be things like, okay, so what's going to keep me from completely leaning in? Oh, I don't know. My husband. Okay. It's things like that, right? It's like, oh, I have to cook for 17 people and they all want Twinkies or whatever it is. It's lots of things. It's the vacation. How do I manage that? And the vacation comes up every 8 weeks or whatever it is. All these things are barriers, like how we handle them are barriers to leaning in. And I hope we can break down a good number of them in the first 6 weeks. But absolutely, there will be super hard ones that people are still really working through. And we will break out into masterminds and try to learn even more about it. I kind of did something like that in Engage. No one knew it because I was kind of working on it myself, but like the eating window and how do we close the window, stop eating. How do we stop eating? And actually a lot of that, as I worked through it, has shaped a lot of the content that's in there. So see, now our boot camp has more wisdom on ending the eating than it did 6 months ago. So look at that. And so this is an opportunity for each of us to grow personally, and it is an opportunity for us as a community to kind of build resources for people who are coming after us. Yeah. And so, Lola, you'll have access to all of that for 6 months, but it is not the right way to think about this because, Lola, you need to get in and do it now. You need to do it now because you're leaning in. The momentum that you get from these 3 days, from this week, from the 6 weeks is what drives you to the finish line. The finish line, of course, isn't the real finish line because that's when, as Judy is mentioning, we hit maintenance and we have to keep going and really continue to find ways to find structures in our lives and a way to encourage our own selves to make the decisions that are going to help us lead our best lives. And I find I am constantly like I've made so much progress myself in this year, because of the forest fire. So you guys know my big thing in big like area of grief and life change is that our area here in the Giant Sequoia National Monument was completely devastated by a forest fire. I don't know if you guys have driven through forest fire devastated areas and then you're like, oh, look at that little island that's left. That's us. Okay. It's one of those. So, and Michelle is asking about Engage. So, Engage is our, like, it's been our monthly membership psychology community. And right now, anyone who's in Engage is automatically in boot camp. So, this is the total focus. Boot camp is the complete focus of all of that right now. Yep. Um, oh, so Michelle, yeah. So Michelle, you're in boot camp. How Michelle, how do you not know? You need to check your email, Michelle. Oh, and anyone who's in Engage or boot camp and not getting an email support at eatlikeabear.com. You should be. But sometimes people will have like their PayPal email in there or something. And so make sure, because that is where I'm going to like hopefully very simply direct you to here's a resource for today that fits our theme for the week, or here's a really cool thing that's getting discussed right now in the community. Yeah. And so Judy, well, of course you got boot camp for free. If you can't access those tabs, just email support at eatlikeabear.com. Anyone who's engaged is in boot camp. And again, it could be like some kind of like email system thing. But you're in there. Yeah. don't buy boot camp because you're already in, Judy. That's awesome. Okay. Let's see. Allison, yes. Well, we'll see. That is why we're all here today. So you guys, make sure you're getting the emails. So yeah, you have access. And if you don't, like if there's like a paywall thing, definitely email support at eatlikeabear.com. Allison, it's boot camp time, girl. It is boot camp time. And let's see. Yeah. So Michelle, yeah, you shouldn't be buying it. You need to get a refund. Support at eatlikeabear.com. So cool. Judy, you guys, support at eatlikeabear.com. And yes, so Faith is saying there could be an app problem. Yeah, so definitely, no, you all have access. Anyone in Engage, you're in. You're in. You should, yeah, you all should. So again, sometimes people's circle email is different from what they bought with, or also emails that you like to receive from me. It might be a different email. Support at support at eatlikeabear.com. Any email issues, because those are all three separate systems. And what we do is like for the den, those emails go in there. Okay. But we pull from the buyer emails. But if you want another email, you need to tell us. The same with the emails that I send out. It's a different system. I pull from the buyer email. So definitely anyone who has a buyer email that's the same is getting the email. There's server problems all the time, you guys, by the way, but you should be getting an email. So anyway, anyone not getting an email that should support at eatlikeabear.com. Anyone who was already in Engage and then bought boot camp, go get a refund from Sander. He's right. He's in the next room. You could do it right now. Okay. So yeah, it'll all get worked out. So, Angela, sassy Angela, do we still do email? I know. So, yes, because it's like the one central spot. And I don't know how we could look at like how to do notifications, like smarter notifications at the den, but I'm not, that's not really clear how to do that. I've thought about sending texts, and we're just not set up to do that either. But I'd kind of like to just be sending out a text, like one little like phrase text every day with a little link for something. So yeah. So, email him right now, because then he can just do it all at once and you guys can report back. I just talked to Sander. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, Allison, yeah, definitely check your folders. And always, this is good to know. A lot of times it's the two servers, like your own will not like whitelist the email, but emailing in from your email address itself to the other email tells the servers like, "Oh, we're friends." Okay, that's always like the number one that solves most of the problems. So email Sandra and say hi. Okay. So, um, okay, well, Debbie, I'm glad you guys, Ursa Major is a group in Facebook. So we have the Eat Like a Bear Stories group in Facebook. And then we have once you're in there, you can then make a request to join some of the smaller groups. So Ursa Major is one of those. That's awesome. Okay. Um, Lori asks, how much am I setting myself back by having cream in my coffee in the morning? I just do that outside my 1 hour eating window. Lori, so I mean, it depends on how much, right? So for me, I go to pretty much zero on the cream, except when I'm like out and about, maybe at Starbucks or something. And that is because I just keep wanting it in all my coffee. Like my coffee at home, I keep wanting the cream. And so it's all about quantity. So anyone who can moderate on anything is probably fine to moderate. I don't moderate well. So it kind of depends on each of us. Let's see. I could absolutely eat have 300 calories a day of cream in my coffee. In a month's time, that would be a difference of 3 pounds lost, by the way. So let's see. I'm scrolling down. Um, yeah, so Lola is saying, so you guys just get with Sander on any of the multiple email issues or any of that. Yeah. And and then when you visit the den, stay logged in and always go on that same browser or device, and it shouldn't actually be an issue. And so and log in with the one that you've worked out with Sander. Because what happens is in the system, he puts that your email in, okay, and says like, oh, hey, whitelist Lola for all of these spaces, and it's based on your email. Okay. So, and then your own login. And so that's how it knows like Lola is Lola, is that you come in and log in with your email. So it needs to be matched. And Sander you guys, Sander handles this all the time. He will hook you up. This is no big deal. So let's see. And so, Helen, the sweetener videos were so informative. I get hungry soon after using sugar alcohol sweeteners. Yeah. Yeah. So there's right now in boot camp, there is in the little bonus area, there's one about stevia and other sweeteners and like the psychological impact of those. Let's see. Okay, Brenda, our girl Brenda is mowing the yard tomorrow, doing my food prep for the month today. I'm ready to kick it hard. I love it, Brenda. And did your sons get a photo of you mowing? Because I want to see it. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Let's see. Um, let's see. Tammy, is the Eat Like a Bear website information different from the Eat Like a Bear Den website? So Tammy, the difference is the Den has like a community area. So you can go on and you can like in the questions area, you can ask a question. And this is where our boot camp is. So it's a place for all of you guys to have accounts and to engage that way in a way that really isn't possible on the website. But there's a lot of like very good static information at eatlikeabear.com. It's just the community area where you will have your profile and then get in and interact is at the Den, because it's a whole different like tech platform is why it's a different URL. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Debbie, yeah, I love the idea of text. Me too. Me too. There's so much with launching all this that it just, but it's in the roadmap for sure. It is in the roadmap because that's what I would want. I would want a text. Let's see. Okay, Lori, awesome. Dive in, Lori. Mary says, what if I bought the book and I'm still getting the email? So Mary, so lean into the book, lean into whatever resources you have. And what do you mean still getting the email? Yeah, I send out emails to everybody to some degree, so everybody probably gets at least a weekly email from me. And then depending on, for instance, that like in the boot campers are going to get a daily. So, it just depends. Let's see. Let's see. So, what do you suggest when doing one meal a day and weight is at a stubborn plateau? Yeah, so I would like if you so definitely if you have one of the food books, I would compare what you're eating to like the framework section of the book. So, for instance, in the ridiculously big salad book, there is a chapter called the RBS Maker's Toolkit. Okay, so I would literally take your meal, whatever it is, and compare it to that and see if you need to tweak it. But also, I find it's times like this that this is where I've done like a short extended fast. And so a lot of people in the community actually lean pretty hard into extended fasting and maybe do it weekly or whatever. I never did that. It was more like when I needed a reset for some reason. And that was notably after like my dad was in the hospital and things were really stressful. I took like a 2 day like break from food as well as everything and like rested. And it was like a good way to kind of just reset. So you might do that, but I would definitely compare what you're eating because as you lose the weight, your calorie needs go down. If you think about it, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but I'd never thought about it before. So the difference in your maintenance calories, if you're 300 versus 200 pounds, is really, I should know that number, but I don't. It's a lot. It's a lot because at 300 pounds, you're carrying around that extra 100 pounds all the time. And that takes energy. We know it because we can feel it, and it takes calories too. So as you lose, sometimes you need to tighten up just a little bit. Yep. Let's see. Let's see. If you join, you get boot camp for free. Well, so Debbie, Engage is in boot camp. So I don't know. It's in your, so any engager is in boot camp, period. So, yep. Um, yeah. Okay, Eileen, I have never written my goals, but doing it this time, found a beautiful food journal and using it to write various things in this journey. Nightly writing, what I'll eat the next day. It helps mindfulness. Absolutely, Eileen. It really helps set your intention. And it is a powerful thing. It really is a powerful thing. Um, Tammy says, I'm having a hard time navigating videos. I can't find day 2 meal prep. So you go to eatlikeabearden.com. At the very top is the 3-day challenge. There's one space with goal setting and one space with the what to eat. And so if you're focused on the day 2 what to eat, go right there and you'll see a post from me that is the day 2. And it should be right up there. If it's not, just post and ask, okay? And someone will direct you if you really can't see it. But I think you'll see it. It's from me and it says day 2. Um, let's see. Um, I love it, Brenda. I keep needing bigger goals as I have lost more and more. I find myself doing what I believed was impossible. Yay, Brenda, Brenda. Awesome, awesome. All right. Um, Michelle, so we have the Eat Like a Bear Stories group, Michelle, and then there's subgroups sort of under that. So you can join the Eat Like a Bear Stories group, but to find buddies and support and just chat daily, I mean, yeah, get into one of those communities. Yeah. So lean into any of that. They're there. They're in Facebook. Let's see. Just looking at comments. Okay, Mary, congratulations. I love the changes I've made since I started to Eat Like a Bear. It's changing my life 1 month at a time. Absolutely, one day, like 1 minute at a time. Um, Yeah, so Margaret, I would appreciate daily emails with a direction as to what I should read center on each day. Yeah, that's what my plan is for the boot camp, is so that we're not like all like, because then like all that like left hand navigation, there's all kinds of things you can click through, and you could go in and just kind of explore the content that's in there, because the boot camp and engagers have access to a lot of content. But I absolutely, as we're going through like the ebb and flow of the boot camp, I'll just be sending you out like a, quick little, hey, isn't this amazing? And and you can go in and look at that thing. And so that's kind of my plan for that. Okay, scrolling down to the bottom again. Um, so Michelle, how do I find the den? Is it on Facebook too? No, no, no. Apps. So because what we're doing is, as we've grown in all the different social accounts and people are finding us from all over, that we really don't see in our own roadmap for Eat Like a Bear to have it all sort of behind a Facebook group, that we have a hard time organizing. And so with our growth, we've had problems with that. And so it is its own domain, and you're going to find public content there. eatlikeabearden.com. And that is especially, you guys, there's so many goodies like for free. Okay. It's where the boot camp is and Engage is, but you'll see there's a bunch of free stuff there that's like key getting started stuff. All of it is there. And you can just ask a question. Like there's a frequently asked question area. That is where you go to ask questions. So a lot of people try to ask in the Facebook stories group, but the stories group is for stories. It's for sharing stories and engaging about stories. And questions are like our warehouse of questions is at the den. And that is because people finding us anywhere, including, magazine covers, can find answers there, even if they're not part of a private Facebook group, or even if they don't have a Facebook account, which can often be the case. So, yeah. Let's see. Okay. I'm sitting here all emotional in a good way. I will be 53 this month. I'm over 370 pounds. I love seeing everyone being so supportive and committed. I will do this and I deserve this. And self-worth, yes. And I am 53 and I was 53 in February. And, so you guys, this moment right now, I want you to just take it in a little bit as you get started and as you lean in and take that big blind dive. This is your proudest moment right here. You're going to look back on this and you're going to be amazed at what you did today. Okay. So I just want to say that. And I am so looking forward to your story, self-worth. I am excited for you. That is awesome. Let's see. And Lola, I love the journaling idea there. I can be more specific as to what I did with my daily 5. That's right. That's right. And so there's a number. So there's the daily 5 affirmations, which I've only in Engage talked a little bit about, but there is a video, I think Sunday, on affirmations. There's a lot you can do in that journaling that all link back to the big goal that ties into your 6-week goal. It's kind of like the branches of a tree, and then your 6-week goal can have a daily 5, and related to the daily 5 can be affirmations, or affirmations can be related to your big goal and 6-week goal as well. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, look at all of us 50-year-olds. And I'm going to say we 50-year-olds are on the young end of our demographic. So, in the viewers here on YouTube tend to actually be over 65, interestingly. So yeah. So all y'all are like, oh, I'm so old at 53 or whatever. It's whatever age we are, we always feel that way. And we are a much older community, and I feel like that is our power. We have a lot of wisdom, and we've been through the school of hard knocks. So it helps if we're using yesterday to make tomorrow easier, not harder. It certainly helps to have a lifetime of experience. Okay, so Lori, yes. Yes, and Judy. Okay, so very good. Very, very, very good. Very good. So Heidi asks, where is info on the daily 5? I don't know if there might be some in the goal setting of, look through some of the goal. There's a very long post about goal setting that's in the 3-day challenge. And there's definitely, it links to some resources in the boot camp. But if you're not in the boot camp, find that in the 3-day challenge, the goal setting area. It's the one that's pinned at the top, and it goes on and on. It does link to Engage in boot camp content, but there's so much value in it that you'll find it there. You'll find it. So let's see. So Kimberly, yes. All right. And Brenda just turned 58 and feel more alive than younger. Isn't that really something? And I feel the same way. I mean, just completely the same way. And how amazing is it, to get through all those years and then to have this like life-changing point and to have so much opportunity in front of us. I'm kind of blown away by it, actually. So, okay. So Heidi, I'm in boot camp. I didn't see anything about the Daily 5 because it isn't posted yet for this cycle. Okay, if you dug, you can find it, but because we've discussed it the last 2 quarters, but you'll be getting an email from me, Heidi. Okay, so because what we're kind of in this like bridge stage of like we're launching everybody, boot camp or no. Everyone's launching off into their 6-week goal. We're going a little bit deeper with goal setting in the boot camp, and then going off into some of the other like structural questions. And you guys look at the agenda for the boot camp, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yep. Okay, and Heidi found it. Yes, you can find it, but you'll see an email. Okay. Okay, let's see. Janice made the investment in boot camp, started 3rd day yesterday, got your blood sugar down to 102 after fasting 18 hours yesterday. Congratulations, Janice. That is amazing. And I'm glad you're with us, Janice. Okay. Joanne is 63. And Joanne's going to be way smaller and healthier by her 64th birthday in November. That is wonderful, Janice. What a great world. This is so exciting. And Lola, I'm hoping that my mom will become a bear from my example. She turns 70 Monday, and she is skeptical of intermittent fasting and 1 meal a day. Yeah, you know what? Just keep grinding, Lola. The people, I think that the results speak so well for it that I wouldn't actually get involved in too much. I would stay focused and like live vibrantly. That's irresistible. That's irresistible. I mean, am I not irresistible to y'all when you see me out hiking? That's what I'm doing. So Lola, do the same with your mother. Like, oh, Mom, look at my photos. Look at what I just did today. And it's completely irresistible. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Patricia, I'm 70 here and looking forward to my best, healthiest decade yet. Yes, that is what blows me away about all this. That's awesome. Okay. I'm scrolling up. So you can put your comment, if your comment's way lost and all that, you can put it in again. And let's see, Mary. So yes, love to self-worth. So here's who's here incognito. You're getting healthy one day at a time. I'm 63. I'm going to be 64 soon. I'm going to be to my goal by 64 and a half. I love it. I love it. So Lola, I love it. I'm able to stand and put on my pants since I started in June. I mean, it's the little things, Lola, isn't it? So yes, isn't that? It's just like, so lean into that. Like, remember, like maybe journal that. Like I could, so like, wow, I can stand and put my pants on, and all those little things. And it's like a reminder, and you'll look back on that. That's the fuel. When the bad day hits, and then to look back on those wins and remember like, oh my gosh, right. I remember I couldn't even steady myself enough for that, or whatever it is. Absolutely. So, all right. So, Brenda, I have eliminated cheese as I'm a cheese addict and it was adding too many calories. The smaller I get, the less calories I can use. So I kick the cheese to the curb. Absolutely, Brenda. That's the thing. So cheese is one of those things. We talk about this a lot, which is that so we talked and engaged a lot about, like, Jackie, Patty, and I, about chocolate versus peanut butter, because I can keep peanut butter in my house, but Jackie can't. She can keep chocolate in her house, but I can't. It's all about what is going to kind of make us overeat, and it's different for all of us. It's the dilemma of the food lists, you guys. And, like, oh, well, here's the food list, which means I can eat any of those things. Well, if there's something on the list that, just because it's like lower in carbs, like cheese, okay. Yeah, but if you eat a giant mountain of it, maybe it's driving you to eat too much. How is it that we can, like, eat just enough, like enough to be satisfied and happy with our eating, and then go off and live our vibrant lives, and, even mow our lawn? So, yeah, all of that. So let's see. Juanita, I have been thinking about trying this for over a year. I am 70 years old and my body hurts. I weigh between 275 and 280, the heaviest I've ever been. Juanita, this is your time. Look, the community, the energy of the entire community, like, grab onto that energy and dive in. So I started this video. I don't know if you were here for the beginning, but I'm talking about leaning in, like doing a giant deep dive, blind old dive into what we do here. So I am glad you came here this morning, Juanita. That's awesome. So let's see. Michelle says, do you add up the calories of your salad to be sure you're getting enough? Won't your metabolism slow down if you eat too few calories? I am kind of never at risk of eating too few, Michelle. I don't, and I never really add them, but I'm mindful of, like, the calorie. I generally have a good sense. Like, you could show me a salad and I could probably guess within 100 or 200 calories of what's actually in there. And so I don't count, but I am mindful of it. I can always, like, people say, like, I can't eat more than 500 calories a day. I see that post a lot, that kind of thing. I've never had that issue. Okay. Would I be worried that you would slow your metabolism? I don't actually think I would be. My concern is more about, can you actually consistently get to tomorrow on 500 calories? And why not just, you can always add, like, a little more dressing or something. I mean, I think it's just easy to add calories or add more cheese. It's easy to add. So I think for most people, it's not a real problem. Bariatric patients with, like, the smaller stomach, the issue is more about spreading it out. So that becomes a different issue. Yeah. But we have had no reports of, like, with intermittent fasting, with that as a structure, of this issue of, like, slowing your metabolism down. But we haven't had anybody that I know of who has, like, we don't have a success case, because I surely would have noticed them, who's done like 500 calories a day for a year or whatever it is. So would their metabolism have slowed down? I don't know. I feel like it's just a better long game strategy to have the calories up a little bit more, and not because I'm concerned about the metabolism as much as I'm concerned about if we can sort of create an eating situation that takes us into maintenance, like bridges us into maintenance better, then we're going to win that long game maintenance thing, right? And 500 calorie days just doesn't do that as well. And we lose a lot in our models with our meals that are in the, like, 1,000 to 1,200 calorie range. So that's kind of where I am. But I think it's part of it is the ability to do it every single day. I tried, by the way, in the fall of 2017, when I realized this is working. I wanted to lose faster, and I did try some 500 and 800 calorie days. And the reason I then didn't continue it, like, I tested into it myself personally, is I couldn't get to tomorrow. So I was just, like, too flippin' hungry. And so for me, I found the balance at 1,000 to 1,200 calories, but someone should try it and report back. Yeah, but that's why I didn't continue it. And let's see. Yeah, so Jackie is talking about, like, because of the structure of the intermittent fasting, that it is that is kind of like our, so with all the low calorie models that are out there, most of them have been like the little meals a day. and that does affect your metabolism in a way that the intermittent fasting doesn't, essentially. And there is a shout out for Dr. Fung's book, The Obesity Code, which you guys, that's a pretty good one to look at for this. And let's see, Jennifer, I've always hated pictures of myself. I mean, like all of us, right? Okay. But I've been taking pictures of myself consistently so I can look back at the ones from earlier in the year and celebrate the progress. It's a big deal. Yes, Jennifer, thank you for bringing that up. And as I said earlier, you guys, this is your proudest moment. I think take a photo. You don't have to look at it even, but you're going to want it. You're going to want it because this is your moment, and you are going to want to have that photo. And you don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to post it. You don't even have to look at it, but you're going to want it. You're going to want it. And you guys, we beat ourselves up over all this stuff. We like carry so much shame with us. What is going to drive long-term success is like, put it over there. Ignore it. Just ignore it. Like, we don't have to like go to therapy over it or whatever. Let's just grind. Let's like create our own new life. And then I'm going to tell you, so much of that really washes away. And I definitely had shame and like great disdain for myself back in 2017. But I don't now. I mean, I don't for my current self, but I don't for my past self either. Because looking back, I can see how complicated it was, and that it wasn't that I wasn't trying or didn't care. I just didn't really have like the right pieces in place. So why should I be now feel like disdain and shame over that? I don't. No, at all. So it really did like help me so much in being able to look back and see what like the dilemmas were. And I don't know, like almost forgive myself or something. But I don't feel like I even actively did that. I just like the veil was lifted, and all of that, like all those feelings I had about myself at that time are just kind of washed away. Just, it's kind of amazing. And so just like, okay. Forge ahead. Forge ahead. Okay. With your big goal, with your focus, with your affirmations, with your daily 5, with all of that. So all of that. So Tammy is asking about like a bariatric approach. So if you're in the Facebook community, there's actually a sub community there called Bariatric Bears, and you might have to eat 3 meals, and you might not be eating the salads. You might be eating the cooked meals. I know some ladies are, because there's like a higher protein need, apparently. I don't know about this. So this is like a doctor question, but I do see some ladies who might eat like 2 little meals and like a protein shake kind of a thing. So they're just like working it out. And so there's no specific formula that I recommend. This is a matter of you working it out. I definitely wouldn't just stretch out that stomach with the ridiculously big salad, because that salad won't fit. It just won't. And that small stomach is a tool. So Tammy, if you've had some kind of surgery that impacts the size of your stomach, see it and lean into it as a tool. It's going to reduce your hunger, and so reduce some of those challenges that people face. And so and then work it out from there. So yeah, but you're going to have more than 1 meal, I would expect. And how many? I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many meals or how what you're eating, how much you're eating. And so what you can do is you can like take the day 2 meal of the 3-day challenge, which is a cooked meal, and make that as one dish, and then maybe eat it in 3, like you would eat it in, I don't know, I would have reduced hours. So like 5 hours. And if it takes 3 times of eating, maybe it takes 4. I don't know. I mean, so I would play around with that. Yep. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Bariatric Bears. So, but you need to be a member of the main Facebook group first, and then find it, because then you're auto approved into these little groups that we've been talking about here. Let's see. You guys talking about calories. I feel that I can look at my belly and be certain that I have enough calories. Yes. I feel like the fear of not having enough calories is something we're gaming ourselves about that, you guys. I mean, are you overweight? Then you ate enough yesterday. Okay. So it's one of those that is again part of, I think, the diet culture that works against us, because there's all this like it has to be some exact something. Um, the calorie model that I recommend in the 3-day challenge is 1,000 to 1,200 calories, but it's mainly just because we've had so many people who have just like had good success with it. If you want to diverge from that in one direction or another, try it and report back. But not eating enough, I don't think is a real concern. And again, if it is like, so vegetarians, for instance, who or vegans who aren't going to be adding the cheese and stuff might need to be strategic about adding certain fats or whatever. But outside of that, I think most of us regular eaters have no issue. No issue with adding calories. You can always find something to add if you're concerned, and if you're really very low. But I don't think most people are probably that low. And I would, if you think you're low, I would really count and make sure. It's so easy. Okay, let's all just take a moment. Have I ever gamed myself with what I eat? Okay, anyone who's saying no, let's be real. Okay, let's be real. Oh my gosh. Yep. I mean, I still do it. That's one of my rules for myself. If I find myself gaming myself in any way, I'm like, that's it. I don't game myself. I do not game myself. The fact is, I still kind of sometimes find myself gaming myself, but it's those situations that I take as like little learning moments and try like not to game myself tomorrow. Because you guys, we always want to eat more. Always. I mean, the donut is a very powerful foe. Very, very powerful. Let's see. Let's see, Lola. You may chew 500 calories, but your stored food is what your body is using. Right. Okay. So Lola, right. Because you're burning the fat. And so this is also a question we get a lot, like, oh, should I have a lot more fat? The fat gives us like a little bit of that daily nutrition, like maybe especially if it has like good omega-3s or something in it, like if you're eating fish with your meal or something like that. But yeah, your body fat is your source of fat, because you then are burning that, and that becomes part of like, your nutrition, basically. Yeah. I did do a non-fat diet in, I don't know, 1993 or something. Completely like zero fat or extremely low, like 1 or 2 grams of fat a day, like nothing. And boy, it was miserable because of like the palate factor of eating. And the food was really junky looking back on it. But just from the point of view of like being happy with the eating, it was a really, really hard diet. And so I do feel like that's why the salads have a really good amount of fat in the dressing. And that is what I created for myself in 2017. And I know it was partly because of that 1993 non-fat diet, that I knew like there's no way, like I could have cut calories on the salad by cutting out a lot of that fat. I'm like, why? I don't want to live this way. I knew, because I was working on a plan. I knew I needed to grind for a long time. And so I was working on something, a meal model that I could implement like every single day. And look at me here nearly 5 years later, still eating it. So this morning I had because always before live videos I'll eat something. So I had some eggs just to have a little bit of something. I didn't have enough time for something like a salad, but I'll have it after. I lean into it. I've come to really enjoy it. The flavors are good. If I get tired of flavors, I try other flavors. And the fact is, I come to associate it with my success and my new life, and I try to appreciate it as a tool for that. And so I think that like appreciation, that mindfulness, gratefulness of the salad is, or whatever the meal is, the meal type, or however it is that you're working it out, being grateful, like this tastes good. It's not like the diet I did in 1993 with a zero fat. it tastes good, it's satisfying. Yeah, it's not a donut. But I'm sitting, I'm eating it, I'm not thinking about the donut, because by the way, that's another strategy for y'all. If you're thinking about the thing that you can't have, how will you ever be happy with what you do have? And so you need to have structures so that you're grateful for what is there and what is driving your success. Yeah. So Lori says, do you think we can get enough protein from the yogurt in the dressing if we want to cut the meat sometimes? Yeah, I think you should try that, Lori, if you'd like. And there's people in Veggie Bears group. We're talking about other sources of protein if you're really asking about sort of the vegetarian. But for me, I find that there are times I go through craving more protein. And so if you find yourself then craving more, I would add more. So I think it's worth trying. I think it's worth trying. Yeah. Let's see. Tammy, you may have answered this question already. I'm not on Facebook. So is there any way to join a group or a den? Tammy, so thank you, because you're exactly why we have eatlikeabearden.com. And that is our community area. You can find a lot of resources there that are not like behind that Facebook, door, because on Facebook, you have to be a Facebook member of Facebook, Meta, that company, and have a Facebook account. And then you can find the stories group in there, which is our group, but we have not a lot of control over a lot of the sort of functionalities of that group. And exactly for people like you, Tammy, we have really been building over the last 9 months resources at eatlikeabearden.com. And you will find a question area. You'll find other resources there in the top area. You'll find the 3-day challenge resources for the rest of this week. And definitely I direct you to like the thing that's called something like questions, but you can ask questions in there. And there are transformation stories there as well. And that's where now that is also where we host our boot camp and engage community. And so you'll see those like lower down, and that's all happening back there. And so that's member funded. So that costs you money, Tammy, but there are lots of resources there that are free, and we're building them. We want more. That's what we're working on it. We're building it. So, and Jackie's saying add more protein than just the dressing. Eggs are good. Okay, so Jackie, you're reading this as a vegetarian question too. Yeah. So, and we have some people kind of experimenting with other types of beans for vegetarian options. So, and Jackie is talking about corn. I have not tried it. I want to try it. I was a vegan for a while, also in the 90s, but that was way before there were all these products out there. Let's see. What are your thoughts on soybeans? Some say stay away from them. Hey, Hope. So yeah, I don't really eat soybeans. I know they're controversial, but if someone's like leaning into the soybeans, I mean, do it and report back. I'm curious about it. I don't know. I feel like I don't try. There's a lot of food controversies, and I don't spend a lot of time on them because I think we should all just kind of find our own path. So yeah, but as Hope points out, there's controversy about soybeans. There's controversy about a lot of things, as you guys probably know, canola oil and different things. And I just the degree to which we're like doing like the salad or like the cooked meal with all those vegetables, a lot of the other things we might be adding probably don't have the same impact, because like our whole approach is so very, very healthy. And if we kind of misfire on one little thing, we probably still won. Okay. So I'm not gonna get too involved in that. I think someone who's eating the soy should just try some things and report back to us. Let's see. Yeah. So Jackie, I haven't tried corn either. Was just impressed it existed. I'm quite good with meat myself. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like easier, not harder kind of a thing. I live here in cattle country, and beef is all over the place. So it's just part of our culture. And so you're going to just always see me eating beef. That's me being me. Okay. So, but people on a plant-based diet, report in. I'd love to hear about it. Yeah. So yeah, jackfruit. Yeah. See, so that wasn't even a thing in 93 or 94 and all that. Not a thing. I'm very, intrigued by all the plant-based things that are out there, just from like a, I don't know, almost like a food technology point of view. But again, I'm still gonna have the beef. Just am. Yep. So okay, scrolling up. Hey, leave some more comments down because there's a bunch above I've probably missed. And let's see. Mad Max says, we are going to eat no matter what. When the brain who is in charge makes that call, your plan goes out the window, and that is where the salad comes in handy. Yeah. So having the plan is the way to set your intention. That is like a huge theme in, you'll see, you guys who have the Skillets book, it's in digital now. Look for a revised version, hopefully in a few weeks. You can already see the seeds of this point in the current version, but the issue of being very intentional with our meal preparation is like a central part of the front matter of that book, like the not recipe part, the written part. And it's a huge focus in boot camp. Huge focus. So, okay, it's a turkey day for Lola. All right. Brenda, after many years as a vegetarian, I've converted to limited meat. I never crave meat, but it does help with I can't say it. I'm going to mess it up. Yeah, being satiated. Okay. Let's see. And so, yeah, there's discussions about black beans. Okay, so Lola, protein keeps me away from the donut and the Cheeto. Ultimately, that is the issue. The whole meal, is it going to satisfy you enough that you can just walk away and go off and be awesome? It might take fine tuning. And so like my model is a starting place for a lot of people, but we're all different. And so some things, some things are going to, we're going to tweak it a little bit, but understand like what's in the framework, why it's there, and yeah, tweak it. But that's exactly the point, is that the whole thing needs to satisfy you enough to get to tomorrow, because you're out being awesome and you need to be able to compete with that donut in the rest of the day. Yep. Let's see. Michelle says, do you find people fighting insulin resistance take much longer to lose weight? It's driving me nuts. Yeah. So Michelle, I think that is where, so get with the doctor on this particular thing. But this is where some people probably in the beginning do lean into more extended fasting, because that is like a shorter path, like in time to getting that down. So you might look at that. And so depending on your own, personal struggles and all that, and I would talk to a doctor about that. Yeah. You can make progress, by the way, without the extended fasting, I expect, but it can really shorten the distance between A and B. So that's something to look into. Let's see. And so Kimberly is saying, I began putting a teaspoon of coconut oil and stevia in my coffee. I don't miss the cream at all. Okay. So yeah, just whatever everyone's putting in their drinks or whatever else, just be mindful of, it's all part of like the calories, the carbs, the everything, the protein or whatever that you're engaged with. Okay. So let's see. Yep, always fighting the donut. And let's see. Rhonda, any tips for digestive distress after the ridiculously big salad? If you're having a lot, I would have a cooked meal instead of I would start there. I would start with the cooked meal rather than the salad. So we've definitely had people who have conditions like IBS, and or for whatever reason, maybe they can have a salad some days. I have a salad most days, alternating just for variety with the cooked meals. But people are basically opposite, that like they like salad, but have the distress if they eat it too much. And so then it's a matter of, just changing that up. So there's the whole, it's all the same framework, and it's just cook it, cook it. And let's see. Amber says, should I worry too much about eating at 20 or 21 hours? No, Amber. So it's like, be flexible with yourself. It's okay. It's just like if you end up like it's 4 a.m. and I want to eat, and then you have to get to the next day, it becomes an issue. So, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. I completely go by like what I'm doing that day and how the eating fits in my schedule. Okay, Kimberly says, when my stomach growls, I pinch a roll of fat. I'm not starving. Yes, very, very good. I am not starving. Did I just leave you guys? That was really, really strange. Okay, let's see. I think I'm back. Oh my gosh. Okay. That was like getting like put into like another universe or something. That was very strange. Okay. Let me get my my bearings back. Oh, wow. So Brenda has made extremely great progress with, wow. And so Brenda has leaned into extended fasting. Awesome. Um, and Jackie's saying, yeah, insulin resistance does make it harder, and it's going to be slower. It's going to be slower, but guys, it's worth it. Okay, it's worth it. And don't compare yourself to other people, especially other people without insulin resistance, and even to other people with insulin resistance. We're all different, and it's all about, are you making better progress today than you did yesterday? Yeah. Okay, Chris, congratulations. So Chris has lost nearly 100 pounds on very low carb and fasting. That's awesome. And let's see, Lori is recommending Primal, the brand that has a garlic mayonnaise. Boy, that sounds good right now. And let's see. Yeah. And Jackie buys avocado oil mayonnaise. So, I think this is related. Like, I made the little comment about canola oil. Yeah. So there's always ways to, if certain food is controversial, there's always something you can, you know, have instead. So instead of canola, avocado oil is an obvious um, option. Instead of soy, there are some other things out there. So like there was a discussion here about black beans. So there's those options, but you know what? I'm not gonna I don't I'm not gonna like have some big stance like against soy. Just try it, report back. Okay. So I just don't think that in the end, probably any of these questions are our biggest issues. The biggest issue is the donut. Okay. Yeah, the donut and Cheetos. Yes, Brenda. Cheetos were my thing. Like, that's the kind of thing, like, you just smell it. Like, oh my gosh. Mm. Okay, so Hope, I love it, Hope. You're giving me a little vision because I'm going to go on a hike later today. I'm excited about it, and I wonder if I will see dandelions. But yeah, like the young tender dandelion leaves are really nice on a salad. As they get older, they get a little bit more bitter, but it's just so great. And the flower, I just love it. And so Rhonda actually, so Rhonda's question was not about being a vegetarian, but just as a calorie reduction. Yeah. So with your yes, with your ground beef, you can drain the fat off, and then so you end up with like a lean ground beef. Okay. And definitely, if you're gonna like have a really super fatty beef and just kind of keep it all in there, I would you count it as like the fat or whatever in the recipe. Yep. A lot of times with my something like a really fatty, like a ground beef, when I batch cook it, I will freeze it in the baggies, as I talk about, but typically drained. Yep. Let's see. Just scrolling up um, and down. Oh, Lola, awesome. I added beet tops to our salads. I love it there too. It's an edible green. People don't think about it. They like harvest the beet and then just like cut off and discard the greens. And those greens are totally edible. Um, I love making my own. It's a bunch healthier. I add olive oil instead of anything else. Mayonnaise, I bet you're talking about. Yeah. Making your own mayonnaise is really pretty easy. So that is an option. But there too, like every, if you, especially if you have the Skillets book, you know how I've gone in such a ridiculous direction of as easy as possible. And so buying mayonnaise is even easier than making your own. But with anything, we can really control our ingredients if we make our own. So that's always a great thing. Always great. And then you could make a batch of it so that you have it for a few days. The homemade mayonnaise won't last as long as the store bought. Yeah. And so, Mary, so the next YouTube chat, and so we have them every week in boot camp. I alternate every other week, and Sarah Carter every other week. And in terms of here on the public channel, it will be at our 6-week goal. So that will be the next public one. You guys, it takes a lot of energy to do an hour and a half chat. So anyway, but it's great. I love coming on here, but then the rest of the day I'll probably go out and hike and stuff like that. So because it drains me of like my mental energy. So I wouldn't like go from this to like working on book edits or something like that. Never. That would not work. Um yeah, so Jennifer is talking about like don't compare, and Jennifer's saying, yeah, those of us competitive by nature will compare. I know I'm so competitive, but it really doesn't serve us. And you know that, Jennifer, too. You know it. We all know it. But I would absolutely compare myself. But okay, compare, but don't if you're going to have to compare, okay, but don't let it get you off track. That's the big thing. Don't be discouraged by it. I don't know. I think when someone's, just like killing it out there, let's be happy and proud for that person and then just keep focused. Yeah, keep focused. I think it's the real problem is when it's just like then you're all discouraged about it. So my sister Kimberly, engagers know about Kimberly because we had on February 15th, we had a big like launch of like Kimberly's going back to work. She had been off work for months and she had moved from Sedona to Palm Springs. And February 15th, she was launching, she does hair. So she's like high-end hair color. And she was starting at a new salon after some months off and with the move and everything. And in those months off, she'd actually like her weight had creeped up because she was, home boredom eating, like we all do, that kind of thing. And so she gained a little bit, but Kimberly's never been really that overweight. It's just she's not where she wanted to be. And she felt herself, kind of creeping up. And so she just wasn't where she wanted to be. So she called me. She said, I'm just sick and tired of always worrying about being fat. Okay. So not even like the always worrying about it aspect. So anyway, we did a big like February 15th launch and Kimberly went back to work and she was like so focused on her structures and all that. But an interesting thing happened. She ended up on a weight positive medication. And so she actually ended up, even with a big push and the big structural changes, gaining a little bit. Again, she could have gained up to like, she was like 170. She could have been 250, like that, like that. And so it's very discouraging anytime you gain weight, but recognizing that the Kimberly who hadn't like focused back in on February 15th and it just continued with like that boredom meeting or whatever, and had ended up on that same weight positive medication, which she would have been 250. And so should she get discouraged and start like overeating because of that medication? No. Um, so because she had buckled down, she felt like empowered from it and in more control and realizing it was so clear to her what the impact of that medication was. And so she didn't, I mean, she was discouraged in a certain way. And that's a whole other story. And we need to get her in here for an interview because it's interesting. But yeah, she's doing well. She's just not skinny, but she's doing well because she recognizes that like those boundaries that she has are what is keeping the Kimberly Rose of today from becoming like going way up on the scale. So it's the key point of comparison is not her compared to someone else. It's her compared to herself, you know, and she deeply recognizes that it would be a much bigger problem if she hadn't really latched in on February 15th. So it's interesting. It's interesting that like we're all watching Kimberly since February 15th and that her story went that way because I think it's a really good lesson for us about that comparison, that it is all about each of us and comparing ourselves to what might have been. Okay. Okay. So let's see. And Lori, yeah, loves making everything from scratch, but it's not feasible. Yeah, absolutely. And don't apologize for it, Lori. It's fine. And Hope wants to see another video about Big Mama Creek. And so you guys, it's funny that you mentioned that, Hope, because I've been down there a lot and it's actually called Fat Mama Creek. And it's interesting because I've been very defensive about the name. Like, why would we change the name? Are we ashamed of the name? I'm not ashamed of the name, but I have had people like, but maybe it needs to be, you know, some other name because we named it. It's a little seasonal creek on our property and we named it. And I was down there maybe about a month ago and just like reflecting and like taking it in. And just out of nowhere came this feeling that the creek wants a different name. Okay. So maybe I'll have another video about that. We need another name for the creek. I don't know what it should be. But it's just so funny, like, the creek has an opinion on this apparently. And so Jennifer says, I'm definitely proud and excited for others and then just have to focus not beat myself up. Yeah, absolutely. So focus on your positive progress, Jennifer. And that is where the affirmations are very powerful. So that is awesome. Okay, you guys. So I am about to go and eat a salad. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be hiking today and I'm going to get into, I'm still kind of scrambling, getting resources around in the boot camp and getting all that set up. And apparently getting you guys directed, if some of you guys in Engage bought boot camp. No, because you're in there already. So all the engagers, there's a boot camp and you're in there. So click around. And if you don't have access, email support@eatlikeabear.com. And it's all going to get worked out. So, yes, because you absolutely everyone in Engage has access to boot camp. Yeah. And I think most of you ought to, but maybe refresh or something and just see. Okay. Mama Bear Creek. So, and Brenda, I am losing. It will take me longer due to steroids and meds. Yes, I gain on prednisone, but my weight is still on the way down. I would be over 450 pounds, according to my doctor, if I hadn't changed. So thank you, Brenda. So that is so great. And so Brenda, I don't know if you were in our boot camp, but I want to offer you a pass into boot camp because you are like our North Star in staying focused despite a lot of barriers. Okay. And so support at eatlikeabear.com. Say, hey, Sander, I'm Brenda with the lawnmower. And Amanda said, "You're letting me into boot camp." Okay. And then we'll have your email. Okay. And then you'll get hooked up with Sandra because he keeps things actually organized. And I am really, really, really excited about all the progress that we're able to see in this community. And excited at like this opportunity. We're deep diving in boot camp and learning so much, but all of that knowledge, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but this is all that knowledge just like seeps into the whole platform. All of it. So that's exciting to me. That's awesome. Okay. Um, so you guys lean in. Lean in. This is it. This is the time. This is like, feel the energy. You can lean in any day. Okay. But right now, feel the energy. Feel the energy of everybody. Feel it. And this is the time, like so many people are just jumping, and you too. Jump, 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 jump. And recognize that like that momentum that you're going to grab, keep focused with it. Like, don't let that go. That momentum is probably the most powerful thing that we end up with. And it's so easy not to recognize it, to take it for granted, and to just like throw it away. And then the struggle starts again. Okay. Don't let go of the momentum. All right. And so, you guys, I will see you all all around. Okay. And but especially in boot camp with the daily emails and all that, you're going to see all kinds of stuff. So do not be overwhelmed by boot camp. Just like daily email, click, read, take it in. Okay. But if you have questions, feel free to ask. Like ask where, all over the platform, just ask. But our question area is that's actually the best place to ask questions is at eatlikeabearden.com. Because we're really on that. Like we sometimes will see a question from a year ago that's like on a random post on Instagram. Don't ask there. eatlikeabearden.com. And yeah. So okay, you guys, let's like just grab onto the fire that is Brenda. And so Brenda, okay, I'm going to revise my thing. I need you to send us a picture too, because I totally want to see you mowing your lawn. But I think I've seen one. I think I saw one a few months ago. That's so exciting. Okay, you guys. And Lori is leaning in. I feel the energy. Feel it. Take it in, you guys. This is it. This is our time to just go like beastly, right? Barely. Okay. So I will catch you all. So technical question. What if you don't remember your password? So any technical questions, support@eatlikeabearden.com. But there's, I'm sure, a way to reset your password on the platform. So you know how you do that with any of them, like you put it, you like forgot my password, and then that platform sends you like an email with the reset password thing. So, yep. Okay. Awesome. And we're just going to repost Lori's. So, because that is our last call to action here. Let's feel the energy and let's go for it. Let's lean in, and I will catch you all very soon around and about. And I'm going to be out hiking, so you guys can like picture me. So I'm very pleased about that. Okay, I am signing off for now. You guys take care. Love you guys. Love you guys. Take care. Go be awesome.